For those unfamiliar, if you could talk a bit about Dynamic Talent International and what it is that you do, your values, mission, just sort of a general idea.
Yeah, no problem. So, like I said, we're a multifaceted agency. We represent in the music side of things, like, pretty much a broad stroke of every talent there is, from, our K-pop division, country, indie, rock, metal. It's been really good that way with being diversified in those aspects of it. With our new expansions into different divisions now, we've got our sponsorship and branding division headed up by Mike Fowle, and then we've got that's going on doing sponsorships and making sure that that our clients are being taken care of with sponsorship dollars. We're outsourcing our services to festivals and making sure that everybody's taken care of that way, and we're doing a really nice job of that. We've also got our tour marketing division and our marketing division, where they go out and they're doing Meta, Google, YouTube, all that good stuff, to make sure that anything that wants to be branded and marketed that way, we're doing those things. We've got our VIP division as well, where we do all of our VIP servicing in-house for all of our clients, and then for clients that we don't represent as well, for the booking side of things, which we offer at a substantial discount compared to what the other VIP servicing companies do, and we're doing a great job with it. It's been very successful. So the message of the agency is essentially, we're not your everyday agency that it's just a corporate structure like the corporates that are out there. We work very, very fast and very, very precise with the things that we're doing. All of our artists that are on our roster tour. We don't pick up artists that just sit on the shelf. We make sure you're always working. We make sure that everybody's pitched for proper festivals. Obviously, we want to make sure that we have multiple different divisions. We're not just an agency. We want to make sure that the clients are making money off the road as well. So that's essentially what we're at. So we're very reachable people. It's very tough to not get a hold of us, including myself, who's extremely busy all the time. But that's essentially what we're at.
I would imagine. There's a lot of value in that, I would say, in today's sort of social climate and technological climate, in eliminating those barriers between like creators and the folks who look to get the art out there, get the content out there, et cetera, et cetera. It's my understanding you guys have been, you're 12 years in. Over the course of that time, what types of changes has DTI sort of had to navigate in terms of cultural shifts, advents of new technology, and just other external factors that impact the way you do business and the way people consume media?
I mean, definitely the changes, everybody's going to talk about COVID. That was a big change for us to try and navigate that. The agency itself started as more of like a rock and metal focused agency, and we've definitely expanded into all genres, and we're having very big success in the K-pop field. With the consumption of media and music and all that stuff, everything is so hypersensitive and hyper-focused these days that it's tough to find those artists that are going to have, essentially hits, or are going to stick to the wall for multi-album success. So you want to be able to build those clients' relationships and getting those artists built for longevity. So it's more trying to get the consumer to not only buy a ticket to a show, but to get them to love the music over countless records, as opposed to one-hit wonders, which is like the biggest fad right now in popular music. So
sure, essentially relationship building almost between audience and artist.
Yeah, and building that story and helping build that story, through touring and through marketing beats and stuff like that. It's a very time classic story, but it's a situation where you have to be in everybody's face at all times, because the attention span is so different these days than it was even 5 years ago. So
for sure. And to that end, in the online world, particularly social media, it's so slammed with art and content creators, some more legitimate than others, clamoring for attention for their work, with such an overwhelming amount of content being produced every day. It's like there's a real bottleneck effect almost that makes it increasingly difficult for folks with real skill and creativity to find their audience or their platform to be heard. What might you say to folks attempting to navigate those sorts of challenges in just a sea of voices saying, look at my thing?
Honestly, that's a pretty simple answer. It's don't try and fit in, don't be a conformist. The reason that art is because if you have your own voice and you create your own demographic, people are going to pay attention to it. So if you sound like everybody else's stuff, they're not going to pay attention to you because you're just white noise. So if you're out there being original, being an artist, it's the best way to do it. So
Love that. And to your earlier point, a specific change I've picked up on over the last decade or so. It's the surge in relevance of short form content, in part as the result of the success of apps like TikTok. Um, the collective consumer attention span seems to be dwindling, ramping up this sort of urgency to like get an idea across as quickly as possible. And I feel like a lot of nuance and context gets sacrificed in that sort of mad dash to be heard. What are your thoughts on like the potential implications of these changes on various industries, such as music? And we've already seen a lot of that with TikTok impacting what is charting and like what's being popular in a real big way. Do you expect that trend to continue or it to kind of change? Of course, these things are pretty impossible to predict.
it's a big question.
Right.
It's a very big question. So the I guess the answer I can give you to that is we've not found a correlation between TikTok and ticket buyers, because a TikTok fan will sit at home or sit in their car or wherever they're at with this thing. I shouldn't say car, but they'll sit with their phone and they'll engage with that person for 14 to 15 seconds, and that's what their engagement is with TikTok. They may follow them and they may watch all their videos, and that's what it is, but it doesn't entice them necessarily to go out and either purchase their music or, go to a concert and see them live. TikTok is again, it's very successful because a lot of people are making a lot of money off of that, and their brands are engaging. But to have a hard ticket experience to where you're out there and you're engaging that, and then to come back more to your question, it's like embracing the new technologies. Absolutely embrace the hell out of it. You got to build your brand, you got to figure out ways to navigate to get in people's faces. But it's been a tough situation where you take these TikTok or YouTubers that are overnight successes that all of a sudden blow up and they've got a couple million followers and they got a couple tens of millions of streams, but they might not draw 16 people at the show. So it's it's a problem. It's something that the industry is definitely trying to adapt to right now, and we're trying to figure out how to correlate these things to make sure that people are buying. So, yeah, I guess that's the answer to that one.
I've definitely heard about, as a result of these sort of platforms gaining significant popularity, things like Instagram followers and TikTok followers and view counts being taken into consideration in like casting actors and signing folks to record deals. And it would eventually turn out that a lot of these folks aren't quite ready, or they didn't get enough development or that sort of attention they needed to be legitimate artists. So then they're out there sort of on the spotlight based on social media. I think it's a lot of industries and a lot of pretty much everyone is really attempting to navigate that right now and make sense of it all. I think it's like in flux at the moment.
There's some truth to that. I like how you touched on the actors and actresses getting hired, based off of followers and stuff like that, which there is some truth to that. And, that's a recent story that's in the news right now about whoever's daughter said that. I forgot who said it.
Ethan Hawke, I believe.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke's daughter. And you're right. There's not a lot of training. Plus, with music and with stuff like that, you can create an entire record in your bedroom. With throw some Pro Tools on and get some synth music and DJ it up and do a thing. That's cool. That's great, and that's actually inspiring creativity. It's just, I think the business aspect of it and becoming a huge product with it is, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that doesn't, like you said as well, like R&D and development, it's very key. Like, and people that have been doing this for a long time that know how to build that, and they know how to A&R these artists and these actors and actresses, like you said. Like, there needs to be coaching, there needs to be stuff to build these, but the creativity needs to be there too. So the artist needs to be able to do their own creativity. So
For sure, that should always be key. As a music guy myself, I have really mixed feelings about these new technologies because, on one hand, it's great that pretty much anyone can get their stuff heard and just record in their room, and get pretty high quality results. But on the other side of that is, folks who aren't that invested entering the fray, and then it kind of clogs up the collective attention span, and it's hard to discern what's worth your time anymore. And attention is kind of the most valuable currency there is right now.
that's why it's tough to put out an entire album these days. It's
Yeah,
either, massive singles and just keep going there with it. So
for sure.
I think another one is going to be AI. That's going to definitely be another impactful thing in the industry. Is you could have an entire AI artist out there that is nothing. It's a computer, and
Right.
they could sell millions of records, and you're buying a computer's records. It's going to be an interesting time, that's for sure. So
Yeah, as a writer, AI kind of scares me a little bit. It's gonna put us out of the job, but
I think AI scares everybody. So.
right. Uh, you mentioned, excuse me, you guys have roots in the rock and metal scenes, and you've done a lot of great work with K-pop artists as of late. Can folks expect you guys to expand even further, and to embrace additional genres and artists of various backgrounds and types of music? Or are you kind of keeping it focused on where the focus is at, as it were?
No, we're in the process, and we really want to expand our country division because I think country music and country pop is like, it's a great genre, and we've got some really great artists already on the roster. With like the Aaron Kinseys of the world and stuff like that are doing fantastic, and we really want to expand on that. And then even in the sub pop world, like jazz is starting to make a comeback, which is a crazy thing. Which I see some really great records hanging on your walls behind you.
Oh, thank you.
But like it's actually starting to come back because the artistry of musicianship is becoming popularized again, which is great. The rock and metal space, it's we'd love to continue to expand on that, but it's slightly going through a little bit of a recession right now. I mean, again, it's a lot of white noise. We need to find some cool new artists that are going to break through in that genre, which I'm excited to find. We've got our artist. I think that the next gold rush in the world is probably going to be the Japanese market, which we're very heavily already invested in, and we're really excited about doing more work with that. So yeah, that's essentially what we want to build all genres, but we want to make sure we do it smartly with the artists that are going to continue to grow. So.
There's a certain resiliency to rock. I feel like people have been saying rock is dead since like the '90s, but I don't know that it can be truly killed. But yeah, there's a little dip going on for sure currently.
Yeah, I truly hope that we find some really cool, like, interesting things. And I know that a lot of people are trying to cross over that genre with Knock Loose being on Jimmy Kimmel and getting more hate than anything. So it's I love rock and metal. Like, I think it's the one of the greater genres out there because it really does inspire creativity, but we need people to really break through the mold right now. So
That's another thing with the sort of democratization of everything with the internet. Genres, just as a singular thing, are almost dissipating. Like, everything's sort of blending together. There are pop elements in just about everything. You've got people rapping on country records. I think that's a good thing, and it can be a bad thing. It just, it depends on the creativity and what's at the center of it. But as far as genres as singular things, I feel like a lot of it's just melting together, especially with the younger folks, with just open access to the internet and exposure to everything. And that can be a really good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the more exposure, the better, of course.
And you mentioned your the new brand partnerships and sponsorships division that was just rolled out, led by Mike Fowl, who has been involved with some of the biggest current brands, both internationally and nationally. Could you touch a bit on what that division is about and what they'll be seeking to accomplish with dynamic talent?
Again, we're very excited about launching that division, and of course the growth of our other divisions. With the sponsorships, we just want to be able to offer our clients, more revenue services, and plus we really want to help these brands that might not be able to be tapped into the music industry, or even film and TV. We wherever we can incorporate things. I can't mention it because it's not done yet, but one of the biggest brands in the world approached us, and now it sounds like we're going to do a multi-artist deal with them for our clients, and they really want to tap into music, and music right now is a big space that a lot of companies really haven't embraced, and we want to kind of show them a different way of doing that. Plus, we work in a very typed genre that not a lot of other companies work in the K-pop space, where if they can sponsor tours or if they can sponsor artists, and then their brands can, increase their revenues and their visibilities with these artists that we work with, then everybody benefits. With Mike's work and the rest of the team that's over there, like they're really focused on making sure that it's the right brands, the right fit, and the right marketing campaigns that go around these things. So again, everybody benefits. So that's really what the focus is. So it's not just a cash grab that a lot of other companies may do. We really want everybody to have synergy and be happy with the situation that they're in and where everybody benefits. So
Yeah, from the information I have, and I got the release recently, I really admire what it seems like you guys are trying to do in like bringing a focus to the human, I guess, at the center of the creativity and bridging the gap between the market and the creator. I think that's been long needed, and those divides seem to be getting more substantial over time, and it should be going the other way. So it's really neat to see a group working toward the greater good in that way.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're very excited, and I think that we're going to have some great relationships built between that. So.
And you mentioned one thing in the works that we can't talk about, but as far as dynamic talent, excuse me, is there anything currently in the pipeline that folks should be excited about that you can talk about?
We have new offices that we are opening in Nashville, which we've got some nice press coming out about here in a few weeks that we're going to announce that. We've got the expansion of the actual company. We've got a lot of new staff that are coming on that's going to better service our clients and bring on even more clients. So we're excited about that. We sold out. We sold out the Forum yet again over the weekend that we were in LA. So that's, I don't know how many times we've sold that place out in the last year now. And it's nice to have sold out tours across the globe, since we're doing international business. We've got some great new builds with we're shows in Hawaii now, which not a lot of people are going to Hawaii lately unless you're a legacy artist. So we're trying to build those smaller artists as well. We've got I could go on and on.
Right.
We've got we're having some great industry parties, like around things like Polestar. We're having some great industry parties around IFF in London. We'll be at South by Southwest. I know I'm doing some speaking engagements, it sounds like, to where we're going to be talking about more about the company and more about what we can do to help any artists in development, or the other divisions as well.
Exciting stuff going on.
Right now. It's been really fun. So
I love it. It seems like the approach is almost a Steve Jobs thing of don't necessarily get hung up on doing it better, but focus on doing it differently and standing out and taking the unbeaten path. So that's really cool.
Agreed. It's nice to be a jack of all trades, but it's also nice to be different when you do those trades, to where the client really does come first. Like I truly believe that any client that is with us will, and their management teams or their labels will say the same thing. Like, we really do pride ourselves at the fact that the job is done correctly. We do our paperwork correctly. All artists are getting paid here. The artists are growing with us. The staff members that come on with us are always growing. It's a nice thing. So
I think that is all I have. Is there anything else you'd want the masses to know, I suppose?
no, just that I appreciate you having me on, and I'm very excited about the company direction that my company's going in, and that everybody's excited about it to join with us. So that's what we're happy to have.
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.